What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 21 of Sideline Specialists. We are back. We got plenty of week 7 NFL, college football, baseball, hockey, basketball, everything to talk about. And we will jump into everything, especially Russell Wilson's first start, the Eagles dominating the Giants, and Saquon Barkley's return to MetLife. And we have trades that have happened, some more injuries that have happened. So let's jump into things with our music here.
Welcome to Sideline Specialists.
Hanger.
This has to be the tradition now.
Definitely.
And we're back. What's going on, Tom?
Not much. We got another double slate tonight. We had a fun sports weekend. We're coming up on a lot of goodness. The sports equinox, I think, next Monday. So everybody get ready for sports equinox day. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Basketball starts tomorrow.
It's a lot of shit to follow, though, and my brain is going to be struggling, but it'll be fun.
On top of that, we even just had an insane WNBA Game 5 of the championship yesterday that went into overtime, seeing the New York Liberty win their very first WNBA title. And I just want to give a quick shout out because there's a lot of people out there that don't know the greatness that is Breanna Stewart. I posted on Threads today, and we're just gonna share this real quick because this is a long list, and then we'll jump to our next topic here. For those that might not be watching, this is Breanna Stewart's updated basketball resume dating back to college. 4-time NCAA champ, 4-time NCAA All-20 team, 4-time NCAA tournament most outstanding player, 3-time NCAA player of the year, 3-time All-American, 2-time Wooden Award winner, 3-time Naismith Award, 3-time AAC player of the year, 3-time All-AAC, 3-time WNBA champ, 2-time WNBA MVP, 2-time Finals MVP, 6-time All-Star, 7-time All-WNBA, 6-time WNBA All-Defensive, 1-time scoring champ, WNBA Rookie of the Year, All-Rookie, 3 Olympic golds, 3 World Cup golds, 2 EuroLeague championships, 2 EuroLeague Final Four MVPs, and named to the WNBA 25th anniversary team. And she just turned 30 this year. Okay. That resume is just stupid.
I just want everybody to appreciate I'm putting a koozie on a glass.
You love to see it.
This is the levels we're going to today, folks.
Love to see it.
Also, hold on. I need to appreciate Yingling is a local brewery to us. And look at him.
Love it.
Them dogs.
That's a classic right there. Got that dog in them.
And you can you're only allowed to use the Yingling glass if you are in fact drinking.
That's true.
There we go. So there you go. No, Breanna Stewart, it's like those Hall of Fames in sports, and whatever the Hall of Fame for Hall of Famers is, she belongs in there.
Oh, by far.
Like that's where we're at with. I mean that list of accolades. If anybody could touch that number of things, and be able to keep adding to it, is the impressive part. Because a lot of people, they'll have like a run in their career where X, Y, and Z happen. And then you move on. Okay, let's see. Is that a fumble or not a fumble? Probably not a fumble.
That's exactly what I was watching when you said that.
I was like, I'm looking down and I see...
Oh, not a fumble.
Carnage.
Yeah, he was down.
Oh, yeah, he's fully sat down and everything.
Yeah. Thank God. If Derrick Henry fumbled on the first drive, I don't know what I would do. For those that might not be watching Monday Night Football, Mike Evans got the scoring started in the very first drive. So Tampa Bay is up 7-0 on the Ravens, and Lamar just got sacked.
And
So,
congratulations to Mike Evans on what was officially his 100th career touchdown reception.
yes, huge. 101 total touchdowns now.
Beast.
For those who might want the trivia question, his other one was a fumble recovery for a touchdown, I believe.
Nice. Okay.
Fair
enough.
So
I
yeah.
could picture that. He's a big guy. He can battle for that.
Yeah. And it's like, he's probably by Godwin. It was probably like a underneath route. Godwin fumbled. He recovered it. Probably something along those lines. I wouldn't be surprised. And Lamar sacked again. So 3 and out for the Ravens' first drive.
Christ.
Not a great start for Baltimore on their first drive.
Holy moly. What is their O-line doing, bro? That was like the entire D-line.
Yeah, the O-line literally just said, all right, we're going to take this play off.
They're going to start giving out quarter sacks right there. Forget half sacks. Holy shit. Winfield's in on this. Ronnie Stanley just let him go.
Linderbaum was like looking at one guy and was like, oh shit, I got to get this guy. And then he ended up getting neither.
That's what they both did. Yeah, Stanley was like looking left and then held his arm out to the right. And Winfield was like, thank you. And just went right past him. That's all right.
Classic.
Yeah, that was that's a rough start for Baltimore, but they are a good team, so hopefully over on that sideline right now they can be coming up with ways to improve.
I'm sure Lamar is firing them up right now. So speaking of the NFL, let's talk about week 7. We are in the final 2 games of week 7. We have Chargers and Cardinals coming up later here at 9:00. We can bring up our picks from week 7. Tom, you had a dominant week 7, by the way.
Uh-oh. Let's see. Woo! Sheesh.
3 wrong answers so far.
Sheesh. Cool.
The only ones Tom got wrong were the Patriots, the Falcons, and the 49ers.
And I think I literally only picked the Niners because we had a streak of similarities, or like we wanted to be different in one of those games with a tight, potentially tight matchup. As it turned out, the Chiefs just decided to own the day.
The ones we specifically wanted to split up with the tight matchups were that one, Detroit and Minnesota, and then Houston and Green Bay, which were all 3 of our games that we were like, these ones we really want to see who can separate from who. And I just got 2 of those wrong out of the 3.
Well, and it was like, what was nice though is this week really, as far as I was concerned, like the marquee matchups delivered, like genuinely delivered. Obviously Chiefs Niners kind of devolved into a one-sided game, but it's not like the Niners had a lack of opportunities. Mahomes with, I believe, 2 interceptions again, or 1, but it was just like he didn't play a perfect game again. But then Purdy on the other side threw 3. So it's just like, Mahomes with 2 picks. Obviously, he had the highlight rushing touchdown on 4th down where he absolutely demolished rookie Niners defender. And I have to give that, I need to look up his name because, sorry, I don't know it. Give flowers to him because I did see his tweet. He said, well, there's my welcome to the NFL moment, and just posted a picture of himself laying on the ground underneath Mahomes. And I was like, I mean, that's a way to just take it and move on. I like it. But obviously the Chiefs are now the only undefeated team remaining in the NFL after the Vikings finally were defeated.
In a close game, too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, an amazing game. Absolutely amazing game. I like what Jared Goff said post-game. He's like, oh, yeah, we knew we would have a fight coming in here, but so did they. And I was just like, just the competitiveness, the way the Lions vibes are right now. I'm loving everything about it. Like, you lose Aiden Hutchinson, and that would be obviously demoralizing, but they've clearly rallied. And they're so tight-knit that they're not going to let anything set them back.
Right.
So yeah,
That
it's
was
just
so shitty too, because Aiden Hutchinson is such a great human in general, but
yeah,
also a great, great player.
I completely agree. And it is one of those moments. It's like when some guys get hurt, you're like, you just kind of, you brush it off and say, oh, that's a bummer. I wish, like, obviously I hope they're okay. But it's like when you have a person who's a good human and a good player and means so much to just that state, let alone that city. Like, he's been devoted to the state of Michigan his entire life,
Right.
with his collegiate choice, and then obviously now with the Lions. But yeah, I'm just, it's so nice to see the Lions playing well. It really is. Because my whole life they were just a doormat, and now they are pretty much the benchmark.
If there's any other team other than the Ravens that I would like to see win a Super Bowl, it's Detroit.
What it would
Just
mean
for
to that
the
city is like,
history.
yeah, but what it would mean to that city is just like, it cannot be quantified. Like, it literally would just change everything for the vibes there.
Oh,
Because they used, like, you think about it, like, obviously the Tigers run this year definitely uplifted them. Let's be
Right.
clear. And the Lions last year did great. They made the NFC Championship. You're like, sports are moving in the right direction. The Red Wings are at least building in the correct direction again. They had a dynasty for a long time, so like they got their kicks out of that. But it's just been a while. The Pistons won in what was 05, so it's like
Yep.
They
It's
haven't
been relevant for a long time.
Exactly. So it's like the fact that they have something to cheer for is excellent.
Agreed. And I will say, so out of these games, that I think the ones that surprised me the most, I should say, were so even though we both picked the Steelers, I definitely did not see the Steelers winning in a blowout. That I definitely did not see coming. Russell Wilson's first start, obviously, the last time we saw Russell Wilson starting and on the field, it was not a great time. But obviously, there's a big difference between Denver, especially the last two seasons, and Pittsburgh in general. So they ended up looking very good with Russell Wilson leading the offense. And finally, George Pickens found the end zone. He had a very good game. Russell Wilson even had a rushing touchdown.
Najee Harris
had a very good game, over 100 yards rushing and another touchdown. Over the last two games, I mean, Najee has just been like a borderline dominant. So, sorry, I was just looking away for a second because they showed Mike Evans limping a little bit on the sideline. He's still in the game, looks fine.
Well,
but
he had a hamstring tweak designation before game start.
okay.
And then obviously even the way he caught that ball, like, probably
his
felt
leg
awkward.
kind of
So
underneath.
yeah, so
Yeah.
and
Ravens right now aren't even stopping the run, so it's not looking great early on.
which is very surprising, actually, because like I said to you, I looked up all the defensive stats, and where the Ravens lack in passing defense, they're doing a lot better against the run. And
they're number one against the run.
Exactly. So it's like, considering what the Bucks even have, because there were questions as like, will Rachaad White play tonight? He obviously is, but Sean Tucker did so well last week. It was one of those, maybe just give him the week off and let him cook. But here goes. This looks like, hold on, was this Bucky? We got little Bucky. Yeah, we got Bucky Irvin. Let's go, son.
Dump offs and the screen passes aren't doing well.
These are so tough to cover too with Baker, because he just sells it so well. And Bucky's little like rollout there was very well hidden.
Especially because they had Godwin going around the other side. Sorry, go ahead.
Going through the rest of the games, we both picked New England because we were kind of just cheering for Drake May. That was literally what we were doing there. Clearly, that first drive gave us a little hope, and then all hopes were dashed. But props to Trevor Lawrence. He actually had a very solid game. Very good on the deep throws. Love to see that.
Brian Thomas still looking good.
Yeah, his chemistry with BT is looking real good. My Eagles finally, in a game where they were favored, won by an amount that makes sense against a team that is really bad, especially the Giants, who literally have not scored, or Daniel Jones has not been a part of a touchdown in New York in over 640 days, which is truly unbelievable. Just shocking. The Falcons, Kirk Cousins had 3 turnovers. You cannot do that against the Seahawks team. Obviously, the Seahawks now will be without DK Metcalf for a bit. It's an MCL sprain. It could have been a lot worse. But that's a big loss for them. I think he is their highest targeted receiver. And then it goes Lockett, JSN. But yeah, that's a tough one. I do like DK a lot. So
Touchdown Godwin.
Hey, I have him at anytime touchdown scorer in a bet.
Hey, I have him in a couple DraftKings lineups, so I'll take it.
And I have him in the FanDuel lineup. So Baker has 2, and then Godwin has 1 now. I only had 4 players from this game, so I had holding on the offense is negated. Fuck my life. Anyway, so just throw it to him again, Baker. It's fine. So I had Baker, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Chris Godwin from this game.
Okay.
And then I took
Go ahead.
Trey McBride, Chargers defense, Lad McConkey, J.K. Dobbins, and somebody. There's definitely somebody else in there.
I got you. I had in my one fantasy league, this guy, the guy that I'm facing has had like the worst lineup other than Brees Hall. Like he had Young Waku with 1, Trey Sermon 5, Kelsey 5, DeAndre Hopkins 0.8, Cortland Sutton 0, Chuba Hubbard 11. But he has Baker, and I'm only 6 points ahead now.
What the fuck? Holy shit.
Because I had Jaden Daniels
hurt,
David Montgomery
hurt for a little bit, and then came back.
Tony Pollard
hurt,
Tyreek Hill,
shitty quarterback situation,
Davante Adams
missed the ball on 6 targets,
Kareem Hunt, who got me 22 points,
GOAT.
The Vikings defense got me 10, and Washington's kicker got me 17.
Legends for carrying you this far.
Yeah, and I have Trey McBride left, but Arizona has done nothing but disappoint me all season, so I'm not expecting.
True, but he had 8 catches last week, so let's hope for that again.
That's true. All
right. Well, the Bucs ended up with a field goal. So at the end of the first quarter, it is going to be 10-0 Tampa, and Tristan Wirfs over there yelling at the ref saying that holding call's bullshit, which fair. My last player I had is Will Dissly. Good old Will Dissly. So, because I think Quentin Johnston's out tonight for the Chargers, so I figured somebody else is going to need to get those targets.
Right.
And receiver depth is not great, so it'll be a tight end. But
that makes sense.
Out of the rest of the games, I think they were all pretty much expected. I think you might agree.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm excited to see with Miami if Tua does return next week. They said he's coming off of IR. He's hopeful to play next week, but obviously that will be a thing that we have to wait and see. He said he's not going to wear the Guardian cap for those that talked about that. He said just a personal preference.
He fucking should.
Yeah. Oh, definitely should.
Personal preference.
Washington just like completely dominated with Marcus Mariota. I mean, I've always liked Mariota, especially. Did you see that Netflix show Quarterback?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When they followed Mariota, I was like, this dude is just a genuinely nice guy. He's just
completely
all around a good dude. I hope I'm not saying this and then we find out like 2 weeks later that he actually has all these skeletons in his closet from someday, because I feel like that's the only thing that happens these days. But oh my God, I thought Lamar just threw an interception there.
I'm about to see it. Let's
It went just barely over that guy's fingertips.
Caught by Charlie Kohler, the fat white guy that everyone forgets about.
I have Charlie Kohler in one of my lineups just because of that interview.
Let's go. I love that. Oh shit. I think I actually have him to have like 15 yards. So he needs like 3 more now. Let's go.
That's what's up. But yeah,
Oh my
so
God.
Washington absolutely dominated. I like seeing Washington play well. The defense stepped up. Like a lot of people expected Andy Dalton to throw like 3-4 touchdowns against Washington. And yeah, Carolina was hot ass to the fact that Bryce Young came in and threw for -4 yards.
Let's go. I just loved, like, I think it was either last week or 2 weeks ago. I kept seeing things that were like, at this point, the season's over. Even after giving Dalton a couple starts, why not just let Bryce play and like let him develop? And it's like he's played enough games that you would maybe see some like little bit of improvement at some point, and you've seen nothing.
Yeah.
And then you see that it's like, yes, he came in relief in a game that was already lost and it was already bad. But you have to think it's like Washington might have literally been running like second stringers by the time he came in, and he somehow passed for negative yards. Like that's like almost impossible, and yet he somehow did that. At this point, he's just bad, and that's a shame, but that's where we are now.
I mean, it's a huge shame for Carolina after everything that they traded.
That trade is going to like live rent free in the minds of Carolina fans for forever. Like that's where we're at. And it is a shame too, because he was a promising prospect, and you always hope that those guys do end up panning out. For many reasons, not just, you know what I mean, but it is a bummer. I do wish him the best wherever he's going to end up a backup somewhere at the end of the rookie deal. Because of his age, but I have to see how it goes.
I mean, maybe he turns into like a Sam Darnold type of story where, you take him off the team and all of a sudden he starts doing well. Who knows?
Watch him go to the fucking Jets. And then become like God, and you're just like, what Twilight Zone have I found myself residing in?
It would also be really funny if he just went to the Jaguars and like took over
Zay
Trevor
Flowers.
Lawrence's.
Zay Flowers. Sorry, he was just shaking and baking.
Yeah, he went all the way to the right side of the field and cut all the way back to the left side of the field and got like 15, 20 yards.
My goodness.
Oh, but he's on the sideline in a lot of pain.
Yeah, well, you get tackled by Antoine Winfield like that.
He's like writhing in pain. I don't know what he hurt. Lord.
How did he get all the way over there? And now, whatever. We will keep. Oh, he's up. He's been picked up by his coaches.
Oh, probably going first down.
He's still hunched over. I can see him at the top of the screen.
Oh,
that would suck.
His ankle got rolled up on.
Oh! They're showing it now.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's a good thing he already had it taped. Yikes. Hopefully he can come back into the game.
Yeah. The toughness and grit he just showed to get himself off that field unassisted, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he hopped up and got off after a roll-up like that.
Yeah.
Okay, Derek. Rough. Stiff arm a fool. There you go. Come on, big man.
So the rest of week 7, I mean, yeah, like you said, it pretty much went the way we kind of expected. Like, there really wasn't all that much that I was like, oh, this is different. It just sucked. We had some injuries, and we'll hit those now. We'll get to the football injuries. Obviously, I already talked about Aiden Hutchinson. We might have talked about him last week, actually, now that I think about it. But anyway, Brandon Ayuk out for the season with a torn ACL. It looked like Flowers was back in on that play, by the way. Went back to the sideline one more time because they're probably looks like they got a bigger package in right now. But just for those,
I
who
think
might
he's
be curious.
I think he's good. I think he's good. He just needs to take a couple plays off.
Touchdown, Mark Andrews, baby.
Let's go.
Mark Andrews is back finally.
Representing for all the diabetics of the world.
Hell
Legend. Absolute legend.
yeah.
And the Gronk spike. Let's go.
Oh yeah, the good old big man tight end spike.
Yeah.
So yeah, Brandon Ayuk out for the season. Hassan Reddick ended his, this isn't an injury, but ended his holdout finally. And they adjusted his contract. He won't be losing all that money. The Jets are unsure if he's going to play in week 8, but he is in the building practicing, checking everything out. So there is something going on there. Adam Thielen could return to practice on Wednesday from his hamstring injury. Let's see what else.
Half the Chargers lineup out.
Yeah, I was about to say Hayden Hurst, Joey
Jesus
Bosa,
Christ,
both out.
bro.
Trey Benson is active against the Chargers.
Oh man, actually, did you see Ayuk? It's an ACL and MCL.
Oh, I did not see that.
Holy dude, his knee. Oh man, his knee is annihilated. That's brutal. I'll do like a cheerier update. Marquez Valdez-Scantling has signed with the Saints.
Yes.
I think Spencer Rattler's definitely in line to start for Derek Carr. We'll just ignore that one. Braxton Berrios on injured reserve. That's kind of a bummer. TJ Hawkinson should be back next week.
Oh, yes. That's a good one.
That's a big one for the Vikings. Obviously, really close game against the now division-leading Lions. And he is just a weapon that we've kind of forgotten about for that roster, to be honest, because they've been playing so well even without him. But that'll be huge for them to have him back. The Raiders, I believe, signed Desmond Ridder from Arizona off their practice squad. If I saw it right.
Desmond Ridder. Because Aiden O'Connell's out for 4 weeks, I think, with like I forget if it's a broken thumb or a sprained thumb.
The mustache man is gone, down in pain. So let's see. Any other?
That's what happens when you have 2 quarterbacks with mustaches.
Will Levis, even without an injury, should be considered week to week because the dude is a goddamn pile of garbage.
True.
But the entire Titans QB room is also a pile of garbage, which is why they can't win any games.
George Kittle's day-to-day with a foot sprain. Debo is dealing with pneumonia.
Yeah.
We talked about that pre-recording, but yeah, that's a pretty crazy going on there. So hopefully he's okay. Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
Full participant.
He's back. He's coming back, baby.
He is on his way back. Aaron Jones still on the injury report. DK Metcalf dealing with a grade 1 knee sprain. Taysom Hill has a chance to return in week 8.
Okay.
Jaden Daniels, quote, up in the air for week 8. So we will have to wait and see about Jaden Daniels.
Obviously, other biggest injury news of the week, definitely Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
Achilles getting exploded by the field itself because no one touched him. He just made a cut and his ankle decided to give up.
Yeah.
Obviously don't like seeing humans go down in pain.
Nope.
But I think we've made our opinions on that guy very clear, so we won't need to go into that anymore. But for Cleveland, it should be Jameis Winston coming up because DTR ended up with some kind of bang up in that game as well. And he's also really bad. So we will have to see what they do going forward. Obviously, at this point, it is pretty much a lost season. So it might be time to honestly just... I mean, they will probably be hearing some phone calls about Myles Garrett and Nick Chubb, to be honest. And they would probably be intelligent to listen to those and if the right offer comes through. Because at this point, the defense has attempted to carry them to the postseason for years now, and the offense has constantly let them down. So you kind of need to hit the reset button, to be honest. From the top down, GM, and like everybody. So let's see where they go from here. And actually, flowers for Brock Bowers, because the QBs in this class have been getting a lot of attention, and then obviously, as an Eagles fan, Quinyon Mitchell. Okay, is Baker good there? That looked awkward. Quinyon Mitchell's been performing well for first round pick. But Brock Bowers has absolutely been living up to expectations. For a tight end to get taken that early and then be on a franchise that's just pretty much been in disarray since week 1, he has been doing his damnedest to help them win games. 93 receiving yards, 10 catches on 14 targets for the Raiders this week in a loss. He's been very impressive, and I'm happy for him. But they need to fill out the rest of that team on that side of the ball.
Agreed. Fully agreed. Last 2 big injury / returning people I wanted to touch on real quick. Christian McCaffrey could return in week 10, so got a few more weeks left for him. And then Jonathan Taylor, Shane Steichen says he was very optimistic that Jonathan Taylor will return in week 8. So
okay,
those 2 bigger names should be back as well.
And that'll be awesome for the Colts, for Anthony Richardson to find, like, because he's missed games again.
Yep.
But it's not as clearly not as substantial as last year. So we need to let him play, and we need to let him play with the number one offense, like that first team offense. And obviously Jonathan Taylor is such a massive part of that offense.
Oh yeah.
Like, you go around the league and like a lot of guys are like good and they help their team, but they're not as crucial as a guy like Taylor is for the Colts to find success game to game.
Right.
So if he is indeed back, that will give them a much better opportunity.
Because it's like, as a defense, are you scared of a Trey Sermon play action, or are you scared of a Jonathan Taylor play action?
Exactly. Exactly.
A big difference there.
Could not have said it better myself. And they do have it'll be one of their tougher games of the year. Obviously, this is crazy. If the Colts win this game, they are then tied with the Texans for the top of the division. So it means this is a big game for Indy. Obviously, the Texans, while they are 3-0 at home, are 2-2 on the road. So they need to use that home advantage this week coming up. But I want to see Taylor play that game and have both teams at full strength.
Agreed. I just want to see everybody at full strength, because all these injuries are really getting annoying, to be honest.
I agree.
But with that being said, let's move in to our power rankings. For some reason, the tier maker was weird and it didn't save like the added people that I put in. So it didn't save Jerry Jones and Kyler Murray. So I didn't go back to put them in. So that'll just be a fun thing that we left in last week.
We vented our feelings into the tier maker.
Yes. For those who don't know, you just go check out either our community tab on YouTube or just check out the last episode. But this is our before week 7 power rankings. Now, obviously, the Monday night games are going on, so we might tweak this. Usually, we text each other after the episode, after Monday night's over, and we're like, "Hey, should we move anybody? Yes, no, whatever." So, for those of you listening, you might see a little bit of an update when we post it, either on Twitter or on our YouTube page. So, just be on the lookout for that. But for those that might be listening instead of watching, our top row, we got Super Bowl contenders. So, before we make our updates, we have the Chiefs, Vikings, Lions. In playoff teams, we have Ravens, Texans, Commanders, Packers, Bills, Falcons, 49ers, Bears, Bucks. At mid, we have Colts, Broncos, Steelers, Chargers, Seahawks, Eagles, Jets. In ass, we have Dolphins, Bengals, Saints, Cardinals, Rams, Giants, Patriots, Cowboys, and super ass we have Browns, Raiders, Panthers, Titans, and Jaguars.
All right,
So,
first move, and this is
first move.
I think this is the easy one. The Jaguars move up to ass, and we move the Patriots down to super ass. I think that's the freest. The only reason we left the Patriots in ass was because we were giving Drake May some credit. Oh, Mike Evans down, holding his hamstring, writhing in pain at back of the end zone.
Ooh. He almost had that touchdown pass too.
Oh, so is the defender, Nate Wiggins. So that's 21, right?
Oh no, that's Brandon Stevens.
Brandon Stevens, okay. I just saw the NS at the end of the jersey because he didn't turn his body fully. And I don't know the Ravens roster like you do, so.
Yeah, that was a good play by Brandon Stevens, but he wrapped up his legs, and obviously that's what's hurting Mike Evans. So, not great for Mike Evans. I will say next easiest move is Giants down the super ass.
Yes.
The defense is not super ass. I like the Giants defense.
Yes.
But that offense, as long as Daniel Jones is there, is super ass.
But it's just the same. It's the same thing we always say about Cleveland, right? It's literally like the defense tries,
right,
and will play to a level that is fine, but they can't score, so it doesn't matter. It's just they're always let down, and that is obviously a shame. I think we could honestly, even at this moment, consider moving the Dolphins down to super ass as well.
I was actually gonna say that next. When Tua comes back, maybe they jump up, but for now,
yeah. But even so, I'm like, you in my head, right? With the injuries Tua's already had in his career, the amount of concussions and whatever, like I would be very nervous about playing him the week you bring him off IR. I feel like you give him this week off, but in practice you let him run all the first team, whatever, and then same next week, like get him first team reps and actually get him like feeling game ready again before you immediately throw him back out there. Because at this point, I'm looking at that division, right? The Bills are like leading it by a mile.
Yep.
The Jets are like wildly underperforming for what we thought they could be. And actually, yeah. So speaking of, since I just said they're fucking shit, Jets need to move down ASAP. Them being in mid is definitely a lie.
I completely agree.
And
it's funny because they just traded for a top receiver.
Mike Evans going to the locker room.
Hate to see that.
He's walking under his own power and everything, but obviously I think there's a difference when you have a hamstring injury. You can probably walk okay. As soon as you try to exert yourself and run full speed, it's gonna be horrible. So
exactly. Hamstring injuries are just so tricky to deal with. And I'm sure people have seen my like injury updates through fantasy football on Roto Baller, especially for those who play sleeper. Anytime there's a hamstring injury, in the note I write about how hamstring injuries are ridiculously tricky to deal with, especially if you rely on speed.
Yeah.
Like it's always tough to deal with.
Well, it's like look at AJ Brown. Look at AJ Brown, right? Tweaks it against the Packers in week 1 in Brazil, and then did not play again until week 5 or week 6 because of the bye.
Exactly.
So you look at it and you're like, it really is that big a deal. Obviously, positionally at receiver, it's like the biggest of all of them. But yeah, that's a bummer. Mike Evans is a just genuinely consistent, incredible player. He's never had under 1,000 yards. Hopefully this does not cause him to miss too many games so he can hit 1,000 again.
Yeah, I really hope not.
I'm going to do a bold one here.
Okay.
Just because it was a matchup this week. And because of how the Niners lost. I think Seattle needs to move up to where Atlanta is. Interception?
Yeah, Marlin.
Nice.
I don't know what Baker was looking at there, to be honest. But
Well, this is where I want one of those. I wish we had like a behind him angle
yeah,
because he's so deep in the end zone. I'm wondering if he could not see Humphrey through the two guys in front of him.
that's very possible.
Because I think this is all about angle. Because like watching this replay, it goes over like three dudes. Yeah, there's a chance it was that, but that's obviously brutal. Yeah. So Seattle swap with. We could just swap them with San Fran if you want, because Atlanta's still a solid team. This was just a really rough performance for them.
Yeah. I mean,
I think
we could. I feel like San Fran deserves to stay there at least one more week.
I just think they're 3-4. Ayuk is
Are
out
they
for the
3
year.
and 4 now? I didn't
Yes.
even realize that.
Yes, they have a losing record. They're
All right,
3-4. Ayuk's out for the year. Debo has fucking pneumonia. Kittle's banged up. Purdy just threw 3 interceptions and no tuds. It's just like they look bad, and the vibes are bad. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm looking at Seattle. I'm like, Geno is still, I think, leading the league in yards. So.
And like the thing I like about the Seahawks is like, well, I should say I flip-flop back and forth on them a lot because like their offense should, like, I always feel like their offense should be unstoppable.
Yeah.
With who they have.
Yeah.
And I just like with Geno, it's like you don't know if you're going to get good Geno or bad Geno. And you don't know if you're going to get good Seahawks offensive line or bad Seahawks offensive line. It's like they go hand in hand.
Agreed.
And it's always like a guessing game. One thing, I will move Buffalo back up, I think.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
I think I'm going to leave Minnesota up there too, just because that game was so close.
And Hawkinson's
with Detroit
coming back.
Yeah, and Hawkinson's coming back.
I was literally not even going to mention both of them because I thought like they're both clear contenders.
Right.
Like, and then obviously I look at that both of those teams as teams that could be looking to make some kind of moves by the trade deadline. So
True.
Is there a rule in the NFL where if the defender's foot goes out of bounds and then he comes back into the field of play, he can't do shit?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I know that's a rule on offense.
Because Marlon Humphrey like fully went out of bounds and then came back and made that interception.
Unless maybe you have to fully establish yourself back inbounds before you touch the ball.
Okay. Because they showed it in like 3 different angles, and I don't have volume on because it's on my iPad, but I'm wondering if that's what they were discussing.
Yeah, I have it muted too, just because I would be way too sidetracked, even though I already am.
Yeah, you keep typing. I'm like, what is he doing?
Oh, Rashad Bateman!
Beast! Oh, that cut was beautiful.
Yeah, it was. I gotta say, Bateman this year, very much improved.
Well, because there's that, and I just think it's one of those like balance across the board things.
Right.
Like at tight end, you have 3 options, and then at receiver, obviously you have versatility there too now.
Right.
Like you have the veteran in Aguilar who's been in the league for fucking forever now, which is crazy. Every time I think about Aguilar, I'm like, yeah, he was drafted in like freaking 2014 or 15. Like he's been in the league for a minute.
Yeah.
And it's just weird to think that though, because it's like, it just makes me feel old.
I agree.
Anyway, but yeah, nice catch by Rashad.
I think we move Atlanta down for this week.
Okay.
Just because their offense literally failed to do like pretty much anything. Bijan Robinson looked good, but that was like it.
Pittsburgh can move up.
Pittsburgh can definitely move up. Russ was cooking.
Russ was, in fact, cooking for the first time in about 2 years.
Yes. Yes. Denver, I really liked their Thursday night game, but I think I want to keep them in mid for the time being.
I need to see them play somebody better.
And I need the offense to look consistent.
Yeah. It's like, yes, they played the Saints. The Saints have not won since week 2. And they have a backup QB, and Chris Olave's hurt, and Taysom Hill's hurt, and it's a big mess. It's a big old mess down there.
Right.
Not ideal. So they definitely that kind of level of opponent. I need to see Denver beat somebody who actually feels like they could get somewhere. They had their nice little run that ended. They get back on track. That's good, obviously, but we'll see what they do from here. I'm not going to move the Eagles yet because that was the Giants that they smacked. But they really smacked them, so I'm kind of like maybe. But
if there was an in-between, I'd put them in the in-between.
Yeah, it's the same deal as Denver, right? We got to see him do it again. And obviously this week's opponent is a hell of a lot tougher than Daniel Jones. It's Joe Burrow. There's Lamar. There's Lamar skipping in the end zone. How you doing? There's a flag. Let's see if it gets called back. Because of course it would.
It's holding.
That's two touchdowns called back in this game for holding. One for each team already. Not even at fucking halftime, bro.
Damn. Wait, how did he hold? That's the holding?
Okay, dude.
He didn't even grab him once. That's crazy. If you're going to call holding while the offensive lineman is on the move, then there's got to be a blatant grab. But that's wasn't.
Wild. Yeah, he's lead blocking for his quarterback on a designed run down the field.
Baby, let's fucking go.
And just moves Davante David, and then it's just like, okay. Okay, bro. Okay, bro. I see you.
Ball don't lie.
Impressive.
And Justice Hill is on 2 of my DraftKings lineups and a fantasy lineup.
You're just picking winners tonight, my guy.
It's because yesterday my DraftKings lineups were hot ass.
And I'm not picking winners today. You know what's really annoying? Here's what's really it's only a $1 bet, but I'm gonna read off everybody on it, and you'll see why I'm annoyed immediately. All right.
Okay.
So this is the bet. Anytime TD scorers, all 6 are anytime TD scorers. Chris Godwin, touchdown negated.
Oh.
I had Lamar Jackson, touchdown negated. I was like, I'm fucking. There's 6 people on it, but I would have had fucking 2 already. Yeah, it's not looking good. But the clock is against me here at this point.
Well, you said
bro.
Is it only did you do first half scores or anytime
anytime? But that's what I'm thinking. Like the fact that I could have had 2 already, and then I would have just needed from this game. I would have just needed Derrick Henry and Zay Flowers.
Right. So
I picked a fuck ton of Ravens because I was like, I think they're just not going to get stopped. But
I mean, other than the first drive, they've looked good.
They've been cooking.
I had 2 superstitions going. Like one was if they lose after I pick them in our picks, I'm never picking them again. But the other one was I cannot wear Ravens memorabilia on game day. The first 2 games of the season, the first game I wore a jersey, the second game I wore a t-shirt. It's the only games they've lost so far.
Oh my God, bro.
So I have not worn Ravens memorabilia on game day since.
Oh my! And it's been it's working.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Just because I just saw it, I'll just say it. We have 2. This is really random in the middle of other shit. 2 NBA updates. Aaron Gordon has signed a 4-year, $133 million extension with the Denver Nuggets.
Oh yeah.
Congrats to him. And Alperen Şengün has signed a 5-year $185 with the Houston Rockets.
Very deserving. I like
Love
Şengün
that.
a lot. There actually, so today was the deadline for rookies from the 2021 draft to sign rookie contract extensions.
Okay.
So that's why there's been a ton of reports on it. Like Jalen Green signed one. There was also Jalen Suggs signed one. There was a bunch of others that I'm forgetting right now, but there's a bunch of guys. Corey Kispert was one of them for the Wizards. There's a bunch of guys that ended up signing all these extensions from their rookie contract, which is amazing. Like, great. Congrats to all of them. That's a big deal to get an extension off of your rookie contract. So, yeah, congrats to all of them. Oh, Trey Murphy the third was one of them that I was thinking of for the Pelicans. Moses Moody for the Warriors. And I think that was about it for today, because Jonathan Kuminga did not sign one, and that was a big deal because he's up and coming for the Warriors as well. So, by the way, Mike Evans ruled out for the rest of this game.
Brutal, bro.
That really sucks for Tampa Bay.
That completely alters the course of this game. For sure.
Yeah. Oh, big time. So any other changes for the power rankings, or are we good with these?
I think we're good at the moment, because there's teams that are like the Bengals record wise is finally improving, but they're still 3-4. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it is a case of like, they play the Eagles. The Eagles have now had no turnovers for 2 games. The Bengals have won 2 in a row. Let's see how that plays out, and we can kind of move from there. And then all the teams that we have kind of at the bottom just feel correct to be there, because they haven't shown us jack shit.
Yeah, I agree.
And then those teams in the middle are all teams that genuinely like have the potential to move up.
Yes.
Like, I like where our list has gotten to at this point, because especially the Colts. Like, the Colts are the perfect mid team because they've experienced so many injuries, and yes, they're at a winning record. Congrats to them. But this is their first like massive test with their guys.
Right.
And from this week going on, it should be very clear where teams belong. And I hope that actually is how it goes.
Agreed. So we will save those there and be on the lookout on our Twitter and YouTube community tab. You'll see us post those as well. So do you want to jump in the picks, or do you want to quickly review, or do you want to quickly preview, I should say, the World Series?
We can do it. We can do a quick World Series preview.
All right.
I'm fine with that. Do you have anything to bring up? Or
I can just bring up the main page real quick.
Cool.
Oh, no, I did not want a historic. Actually, fuck it, why not? I'll bring this screen up that shows the past winners. Here's the 2020s for now.
There you go. All right. So obviously, the Yankees have not won since 2009 over my Phillies, so that sucks. But the Dodgers have been consistently in a position, at least in the regular season, in interception Marlon Humphrey number 2? Question mark? Potentially, maybe.
Oh, now he looks hurt.
Bro, what is going on?
What just happened?
Well, there were like 4 fucking Ravens where that ball went.
It looked like he caught it, but it also looks like he's hurt now. I just saw the replay, and it looks like he did catch the ball.
Tough.
Against his helmet.
Oh, that's a catch and a half. It never got close to the ground.
Yeah.
Nice pick.
Sweet.
Well done. All right, so this is going to be an excellent World Series. I can just say that. So obviously the Dodgers, they had a first round bye, had to play a very tough Padres team that was similar to the Mets in a lot of ways, who they also had to beat because they were
I'll let you take it away real quick. I just said
Yeah.
My wife just came home. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah. This series is absolutely going to come down to how the starting pitching matchups go. The Yankees may get Nestor Cortez back. He has a bullpen session coming up, and how that goes will determine whether or not he is on the World Series roster. For the Dodgers, some surprising people have been stepping up and contributing like a lot. And the name I can pull immediately is Tommy Edman. He's been fantastic. Leading the team in batting average and RBIs, I think. It might actually be Mookie with RBIs, but let me take a look. So they're tied. Okay, so you have Mookie and Edman with 12 RBIs. Edman has 15 hits. And then you have Shohei right behind them. Respectively, the heart of the Dodgers lineup, the guys you would expect to be contributing in Mookie and Ohtani are. Betts had a very good series against the Mets after starting kind of slow. They're going to need a lot more out of some other guys, though. Freddie Freeman, he's been banged up a little bit, so obviously you're not fully expecting him to be 100% himself, which is fine. I don't think anybody would expect somebody kind of hurt to do as well as normal. Kiki Hernandez has been awesome, batting .303. But the Dodgers pitching is the part that's kind of been a little bit sus. So we will definitely need to see the pitching step up in this World Series as we look at it. ERA-wise, from the starters, it's not been great. Flaherty's at a 7.04, Buehler's at a 6, Yamamoto's at a 5.11, and then they had a couple kind of just bullpen games that they were able to win because their offense was able to step up and get the job done. But you can't rely on that too much. So we'll hop over to the Yankees here. I'll just get through some numbers here. So obviously, starting-wise, you've had Garrett Cole, 3.31 ERA, only 6 earned runs in 16 and a third innings. That's solid enough to win most games with the offense that the Yankees have. Carlos Rodon, 7 earned runs in 14 and a third, 4.4 ERA. He's been performing fine. You have to what the Yankees have done is hope the starters can go at least 5, and then their bullpen will come in and just shut the door. Luke Weaver, out of the bullpen, has had 8 appearances, 10 and a third innings, only given up 6 hits. Extremely solid. And then you had Clark Schmidt in his 2 appearances for 9 and a third innings, 3.86 ERA. They're going to want Cortez back, though, just because he offers just a whole different approach to his pitching style. So I'm going to pick Dodgers in 6, but the series could go many, many different ways. And there's just so many stars in this series, and that's kind of the biggest thing. If Aaron Judge somehow decides that he no longer sucks at hitting in the postseason, that's a big deal. Because the Yankees so far, Glaber's been phenomenal, batting almost 300. Juan Soto's been genuinely just insane, and then Anthony Volpe has stepped up massively. And then Rizzo's only had 14 at bats, but he's batting .429. They're getting contributions from throughout their lineup, so it'll be an interesting series to watch for sure. 2 very, 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 very ancient franchises going head to head yet again,
and crazy offensive teams. Honestly, I don't like either team, but I would like to see Otani win one.
That's exactly how I feel.
Just because it's like watching LeBron. It's like watching Michael Jordan. Like, it's just cool to see hitting history. So if your team's not in it and you really don't care who that team is playing, yeah, sure, why not?
You couldn't give me enough money to cheer for the Yankees ever.
Oh yeah, I would.
Any team
never
from New
cheer for
York,
the Yankees.
any team from New York, I just refuse, flat out. Can't do it. So, all right, give me 1 second.
Yep. With that being said, we will get to our picks in a second. We have hit halftime here for Ravens Bucks. Actually, sorry. I don't think we have hit halftime. I think there's 2 minutes left. Sorry. They showed the halftime graphic and I just sat back down. So obviously I'm tripping. This game has been interesting. Baker's made a couple of mistakes, even though the Ravens passing defense is one of the worst in the league. So interesting turn of events, I should say, in that regard. The Ravens are now running their hurry up offense here. Isaiah Likely just got a nice little grab. He just almost lined up like an entire yard over the line of scrimmage. So good thing he caught that. But we already touched on NBA a little. We touched on the baseball. We touched on World Series. Oh, looks like Marlon Humphrey's going back to the locker room.
There goes Marlon Humphrey to the freaking locker room.
Yep.
God damn it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just saying too.
God damn it.
And
just didn't see that.
Hopefully it's just like he goes back. It's only like a minute and change until halftime. He kind of works out whatever that is and is back for the second half. But yeah, I guess we'll see with that. The Cardinals and Chargers game did kick off a little while ago. That's still 0-0 with 4 minutes left in the first quarter. So
I'm not too surprised.
Yeah, that sounds like a boring game, and it sounds like the Cardinals are ready to disappoint me yet again. So
no surprises here, ladies and gentlemen.
No surprises at all. With that being said, let's jump into our Week 8 picks. I will bring those up here. Share that window. There we go.
Okay.
So, obviously, for all of those that if you're new to the pod, we make these picks very early. If something drastic happens before the game start, then like we might change a pick behind the scenes, but that's only if something crazy happens. So, with that being said, the Thursday night game this week, Minnesota at the Rams.
It's kind of even if Cooper Kupp's back, I don't think it matters. I think Minnesota's just too deep. And if they get TJ Hawkinson back, I think it's just like gives them that advantage again. So I'm just taking Minnesota.
Yep, I agree with you. Apparently YouTube TV blacks out my stream the moment I share a window, which is dumb.
Excellent.
So there's that. Let me bring this down here and boom. And boom. So we both take the Vikings, which is not surprising at all. So that brings us to the Eagles at the Bengals.
All right.
You
go first.
I'm just going to go right away because I don't think there's really all that much analysis I need to do on this game. I think that the Eagles defense is good enough to not allow the Bengals to score like 40 points, and their offense is a lot better than the Bengals defense. So I'm going to go with the Eagles. Now I'll let you.
I'm also going with the Eagles.
Okay.
And I'll just say why. These are the two teams I actually care about playing each other. So I look at Cincinnati and I just go, okay, yes, you have Jamar Chase, you have T. Higgins. Fine. You have Chase Brown at running back, which this could be fun for the Brown twins, because Sidney Brown is a safety for the Philadelphia Eagles.
True.
So if he actually gets to tackle his brother, I'm sure that would be pretty cool. But I've seen 2 weeks in a row now. Cincinnati has not scored a ton. Against the Giants, they only put up 17. The Eagles just put up 28 against that same defense. And then we look at against Cleveland. Yes, it is their first win in Cleveland in 2,500 and something days, which is mind blowing that it took that fucking long for the Bengals to win a game in Cleveland.
Dude, that's insane. That's
insanity.
It feels like a made up stat, even though I know it's not. It feels like one.
I read that and was like, 7 seasons in between their last win. 7. Insane. But I just think the Eagles secondary is playing a lot better. Slay had a really good game. Quinyon Mitchell had yet another good game. He hasn't actually had a bad game yet. CJ Gardner-Johnson's finding his footing a lot better and not giving up like just easy catches back there. The front had 8 sacks, 5 of which were from the slew of Georgia Bulldogs that they've drafted over the last few years, which is why I'm repping the Nolan Smith Jr. jersey today. So I just think the Eagles will continue rolling. Orlando Brown tweaked his calf, and he will now be questionable for that game as well. So if their O-line was already kind of banged up for the Bengals, it's definitely going to be worse now. I just don't see how the Bengals will be able to stop the pass rush long enough to allow the receivers, or like for Burrow to find open receivers. So, and if Hurts can actually continue with this streak of ball security, which against the Bengals defense, which is not forcing too many turnovers, just things are looking good for Philly.
Agreed. Definitely
Ravens.
agreed.
Ravens.
Yeah.
We can just,
I don't think I'm picking the Browns unless the Browns play the Jaguars, or no, I'd still pick the Jaguars.
I'd pick the Jags. They would have to play the Panthers.
Yes, the Browns would have to play the Panthers, and
or the Patriots.
The Browns might have already played the the Panthers.
No, but I just mean that's the level of team that they need to actually defeat, or like to play to have a chance of defeating. They might not even beat them, but that's the only time they would have a chance.
Oh wait, the funny thing is the Browns' only win is against the Jaguars.
How early in the year? Was that?
2.
Yeah, there you go.
God.
Because the Jags have looked.
They do
the
not.
The Jags have looked a lot better.
Panthers, but they play the Saints and the Dolphins.
Okay.
But the Dolphins are the second to last week of the year, so that is very dependent if Tua is there or not.
Yeah, and if he is back, he'll have a lot of weeks of playing under his belt to feel like ready to actually compete at a high level. So, Detroit, another freebie.
Yep, Tennessee at Detroit for this one. I agree.
Should be a massacre.
I don't see Tennessee winning in that in any way. Yeah, those first 4 games are kind of the only one of those first 4 games that I thought a little bit about is the Eagles and the Bengals, just because the Bengals have finally found some offensive footing. But that brings us to Arizona at Miami, which is like battle of the underwhelming. And
the bitches.
Exactly. And it's very dependent if Tua plays, because
but then But it's even a case of how's Tua going to look. You know what I mean?
I mean,
It's like,
that's a big part too.
it's just a mess. It's like, because I already said I don't think you play him right away, but
And I also,
just
I just want to say, if Mike McDaniel really feels bad about Tua, then maybe invest in an offensive line.
literally.
If you actually feel bad and you don't want this man to suffer more concussions, how about you get people that fucking block?
Exactly. And granted, this last concussion was on Tua trying to be
True.
a badass, but for in reality, he does get hit a lot in the backfield. So it is a case of give him that protection. So, I mean, for me, I'm going to take Arizona
Okay.
because I don't even know, man. This is just such a shit matchup because there's so many variables that are just unbelievable. I think you're going to go Miami because you always just repeatedly say Arizona does nothing but disappoint you. So
Yep.
I already know that's our first switch up, but I'm looking at it. I'm like, even if Tua's back, I don't think he's going to play like he's ready. And if he does, I'll be happy for him. But it literally is. Oh, Nelson Aguilar. We have an Aguilar catch sighting. Let's go, sir. Jets it, brother.
I'm essentially just picking Miami because I do think Miami's defense deserves some respect from around the league. In the games they've given up a lot of points. It's just because the offense literally is on the field for 2 seconds and then the defense gets thrown right back out there all the time. But against the Cardinals, the defense can force some turnovers and everything against Kyler and company. So, but that takes us to the Jets at the Patriots.
The Jets suck so fucking bad, but they don't suck as bad as New England does. But this is where it's tough because I'm picking the Jets. There are ways for New England to actually win this game, which is crazy. But like the Steelers defense is the reason the Steelers beat the Jets last night. Period.
Right.
Like they got the crucial turnovers to give the offense great field position, and they capitalized on that repeatedly.
Right.
And I'm looking at the Patriots. I'm like, their defense isn't the worst thing in the world. It's really not. But Drake May he's young, and having the receiving core he has matched up against Sauce Gardner and company is just not easy. So I just have to.
Yeah.
I have to assume the Jets will finally get another win, but I will not be surprised whatsoever if New England does get their second of the season in this game.
I was going back and forth about this game just because I'm like, it would be hilarious to see Drake May beat Aaron Rodgers and have him pout yet again on the sidelines.
Agreed.
But I'm more confident in the Jets defense than I am the Patriots in general.
Yeah.
So I do have to go with the Jets in that regard. So that takes us to the Falcons at Tampa Bay. And Atlanta at Tampa Bay could be a crazy shootout. If like
again.
Exactly.
Part two.
I also want to say part of my pick in this somewhat depends on the game happening right now, because if like Tampa Bay loses, I think they come out pretty pissed off. But we did just see Mike Evans leave with a hamstring issue, which he already had to begin with. And like we've said, hamstring issues are difficult. So I think I'm going to take the Falcons, as Kirk Cousins quoted his teammate, "Walk in your trap, take over your trap."
Oh boy. Oh boy. So I watched every minute of the first matchup 2 weeks ago, and Tampa Bay gave the game away.
For sure.
They had the game won. Made a horrendous mistake fumbling and everything that transpired afterwards. It just, if Mike Evans is out, it's extremely clear in my head that Atlanta is not going to allow themselves to lose 2 in a row.
Right.
Especially not 2 in a row at home. So I am also going to take Atlanta.
Oh.
But this may be the first time a pick gets changed midweek if they do say that Mike Evans is going to play. Because Baker was fine that game. But that was obviously Kirk's 509.
Right.
It's just insane game. There's not a chance in hell he's going to do that in Tampa. But yeah, I'll just say Atlanta for now, just because the weaponry's there, and if Kirk can have a better game and not turn the fucking ball over 3 times or 4 times, if he had a fumble. I don't know if he fumbled this week. He might have. Actually, I think he did. I think there was a fumble 6. I actually do think there was a fumble 6. So he had 3 picks and a fumble that was returned for a touchdown. It was just not a good game. So,
no,
these things happen. They move on. I think they will. I think they get back on the winning ways.
So Green Bay at Jacksonville, I think, is probably one of the easier ones we had to select in this.
I think so too. I think it's very clear that Green Bay is a top contender. It's just wild that even as a division, they are 19-6. The NFC North is.
They are the top division this year.
Yeah. You got 2 5-1s tied for the top. You got the Packers right behind them. It's kind of crazy. So it's awesome, but it's nuts. Packers obviously 5-2. Jaguars. It's so funny. It says 2-1 at home. It's like, no, you're 1-1 at home and 1-0 or 1-1 in London.
Exactly.
Sorry, guys. Let's get that corrected ASAP. But yeah, I'm like looking at even just pure numbers. Jordan Love missed what? He missed 2 games.
Yes, 2.5 technically.
Yeah. So even with that missed, he has He's only 170 yards shy of Trevor Lawrence. He has 6 more touchdowns. The only thing that Jordan Love has been doing poorly this year is he has 8 interceptions. The running game is putting up numbers. Obviously, Jacobs has 540 rushing yards. So it's cut and dry. Green Bay is just a really, really good team. And I don't think the Jags have enough to deal with what they got. So
makes sense. The Jags have a situation now with running back because Travis Etienne has looked good in like maybe 1 game. Tank Bigsby
good in all of them.
Yeah, if not most. So
he's looked like a beast.
So, and even Dearness Johnson didn't look bad last game. Obviously, it was the Patriots, but they have a situation. And I just need Trevor Lawrence to throw the damn ball to Christian Kirk. That's all. So, moving on to the Colts at the Texans. I'm going Texans. There's just a lot. I know Jonathan Taylor is like they're feeling like he should be back, but I just think that, especially with the way the Texans lost last week, I think they're going to be coming back for a big game. Tank Dell didn't even have a single catch last week. There's no way that happens again. So yeah, I just see Houston, especially at home. I see them taking this game.
Agreed. Anthony Richardson is way too inconsistent. The Texans secondary, although they had a rough week this past week, it wasn't that rough, to be honest. They still had it. They had some interceptions. They, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was it wasn't like it was a 40-40 game.
Exactly.
And that's what it took to beat Houston on the road was a time expiring field goal. Like, they are a good team. They're a really good team. And Indy is still trying to prove to us that they can win games that matter. So Houston at home doesn't fucking lose. That's not what they do. So
Yep.
they will not be losing this week.
So
This next game sucks.
yes, it
on here.
does. New Orleans at the Chargers.
Because this game, the way I look at it, is a case of who is actually going to be on the field for New Orleans.
Right.
Kyler Murray on the sideline for the 3rd and 1 tush push attempt, in some pain, stretching out there, because he just got smoked, to be fair. He got hit fucking hard. Right in like the lower abdomen. He got hit so hard. Now this is a hit. I'm like, oh, you're hurt? That totally makes sense. He got rocked. All right, he's back on the field.
I just want to say, this one fantasy game I'm in is literally up to like almost all Cardinals. So I'm up by 1 point. I have Kyler and Trey McBride and Tampa Bay's kicker, Chase McLaughlin. The person I'm facing has Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay. He just threw a ball to James Conner, and James Conner just oh my God, he fumbled, but it's recovered by the Cardinals. Holy shit. What a play.
At least I don't have James Conner.
James Conner on like a 30-yard run fumbles. Trey McBride recovers it, so we're saved.
Does he get points for recovery?
I wish. That would be goated.
Anyway.
The Chargers don't have an offense, man. They have Justin Herbert thrown to some fucking grocery store bagging people and Lad McConkey. It's just like, it frustrates the crap out of me because they're wasting a really good quarterback with extremely subpar weaponry. And then like J.K. Dobbins, love the comeback year. It's not enough. Right. And I look at New Orleans and I've seen the potential from Spencer Rattler. Even in the loss to the Bucks, where the defense gave up 12 billion points, which is fine. Rattler didn't look horrendous, but then he played Denver against a better defensive backfield, and he looked bad. So it's like, yeah. I'm actually going to pick the Chargers because of what I just said, because the Chargers defense has been very good so far this year. And I would like to assume that they will be again. And Bosa, although he's not playing tonight, might play that game. And that would obviously be a big deal. So
I was hoping you were going to take the Saints because I was also picking the Chargers. But I just can't see. Like, the Saints also, Olave's still trying to come back from his concussion protocol.
Oh, Shaheed's out for the year.
Shaheed's out for the year, yeah.
That's massive. Like that 1-2 at receiver is, one's gone for the year, the other one's banged up. So it's just not
right
wise to choose them with a rookie QB. It's just, you know what I mean? He's like, and it wasn't like he was a rookie that was really slated to be starting. He had to start because Carr got hurt. So it's just, and it's in LA. There's just too many factors that make me lean too far to the Chargers. So
agreed. So that takes us to Buffalo at Seattle, which is actually an interesting game that I would like to see.
So same. I will definitely watch that.
Yeah, Buffalo obviously with the little bit better of an offense. Amari Cooper has another week to study the playbook and actually know what route he has to run instead of asking Keon Coleman and having Keon Coleman show him and then he runs it and scores a touchdown.
Yeah, which is beautiful, by the way.
Exactly. So I'm
letting you pick first because I'm going to go opposite.
I'm going to go Buffalo.
Okay. Perfect. All right. That's actually perfect because I wanted to pick Seattle. So they're obviously going to be without DK. That's a big deal.
Right.
We know that's a big deal. What I'm going to hope from Seattle, use the crowd, because that is the second loudest stadium in this entire country, behind only Arrowhead. And I need this to be the Kenneth Walker game. I need it to be. He should have at least 5 catches, and he should have at least like 15 to 20 carries. And then you can have Charbonnet do the catching if you really want, and it just mix it up. JSN should have a good game. And even in the games where JSN has not had a ton of catches, I have to give the guy credit. He does a lot of fakes on his routes where he tries to fake that the ball is coming to him.
True.
Which will draw an extra defender at least a little bit away from their primary spot. It's a little things that will win you tight games like this. I want to believe Seattle can win a big game against a really tough opponent. I want to believe it because we've already discussed we like what they have. Missing DK obviously sucks shit. Like he's an incredible receiver and he provides so much for the way their offense moves. They're going to be missing that size and strength. Ty Lockett, Jonathan Smith and Jigba are great. You have a good backfield. Your O-line's been performing a bit better than it has in years past, and Geno is playing well again. So I just think give him a shot. The number 1 receiver, touchdown, Cardinals to, is that Greg Dortch? It is Greg Dortch.
All right, that's fine.
I'm gonna be cheering for Seattle in this game just because, like, I know they had their Super Bowl win. It's been 11 years. They should have a really nice win for the fans.
Yeah, I mean, I do hope Seattle wins this game.
And because Buffalo has this division locked already. They just do. Exactly. Like it's over. So
yeah.
They can lose one. They'll be fine.
Agreed. I think I know what we're picking for Carolina at Denver.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and move right along. This will be yeah.
That moves us on to Kansas City at the Raiders, which I think I still know what we're picking this one.
Yeah, Kansas City 50, Raiders 3 is the final for that game. Yeah. Actually, and just for the sake of my own sanity, is Patrick Surtain out for an extended period of time, or is he coming back soon?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because if he's coming back for that game, Carolina might not score a point.
That's true.
Oh, actually, yes.
Yeah, Young again.
Surtain was ruled out this week, but I wonder if I'll keep an eye on that. Okay. All right. So this next one, I think.
Yeah, this one should be interesting, especially this one. I mean, so Chicago at Washington. Mariota played very well against Carolina. Chicago's defense way better than Carolina's defense.
Absolutely.
We all know that. I do think that Washington is set up very well in terms of like their offensive construction.
Yep.
And do I think Jaden Daniels being out is like an automatic loss for Washington? No. Does he give them a much better chance to win? Yes. Chicago's coming off of their bye. They've been playing well up into their bye. So there is, I mean, I like both sides right now. Chicago's 4-2. I think Washington's also 4-2. Chicago won 3 in a row, scoring 24, 36, 35. Now, that's against the Rams, Panthers, and Jaguars. We do have to give that context.
So Washington is 5-2 and undefeated at home.
Oh, that is a good distinction.
So, and the Bears 2 losses are both on the road.
True. And they're 2 like actual somewhat decent teams, one being the Colts, the other one being the Texans.
Yes,
but
they were both one possession games.
Exactly.
So it's not like they got dominated.
Exactly. They've been dominating the bad teams and losing close to the good teams. So it's not like it's been terrible for them.
Exactly.
With that being said, I do think this game weighs heavily on the status of Jaden Daniels. I'm going to pick the Commanders
Okay.
with the thought that Jaden Daniels will play.
Okay. And because we need some more differences on this board, I will pick Chicago.
Okay.
This is one of the tighter matchups, if not the tightest matchup of the whole week, to be honest, because they've both been playing above expectations.
Yep.
Like the Bears had a level of expectations with Caleb Williams being the number 1 overall, but I don't think this record was the expectation.
Right.
By the rest of the league, by Chicago, yes, because obviously at that point you're like, yes, this should alter the franchise, and it has. But
yeah.
Washington quietly just made a ton. Can you please go away? Has made a ton of good moves. Not only just Daniels, and then obviously Mariota balled out. And I know it's Carolina, like you said. If it's Mariota against this defense, I think the Bears eke out a win.
I can see that.
I'll ride with that.
Okay.
So,
that brings us to Dallas at San Fran.
ugh.
Yeah, it makes it a gross game because of all the injuries that happened with San Fran too. Even though it pains me to say it, I think I'm going to pick Dallas because
I am too.
they're not playing at home and they suck at home.
Yeah, so far being on the road has been a fucking benefit for them, and it is just a case of who are the freaking Niners going to field, like
Right.
genuinely. And Purdy's coming off easily his worst game of the year. It's bad all around for the Niners, and Dallas gets to come off a bye. Parsons he's probably fine now.
I think he's expected to play, but they're not 100% sure just yet.
Okay. But I mean, I can't imagine coming out of the bye that Dallas is going to get fucking massacred again.
If so, they just need to blow it up.
Yeah, exactly. Like if
Right
so,
there.
it's like time to just trade Micah Parsons to somewhere and get all that value.
Exactly.
And then this last one, I think we can both just lock in Pittsburgh, period.
And that's the Giants at the Steelers for
not
that
a
Monday night
fucking
game.
chance in hell Daniel Jones is going into Pittsburgh and doing anything at all.
Definitely not, especially with the way that Russell Wilson played last night. Like, I just don't see it. So that is our week 8 picks. We will post those as well for those wondering, and we'll post the week 7 results once the Monday night games are done also. So that being said, you want to bring up the Immaculate Grid?
Yes, sir. All right. So much screen. Boop. So we got all 4 teams playing tonight and the Giants, as well as a Hall of Fame slot. I already thought of one as soon as I opened this, and I'm just going to fire it right off the bat.
Okay.
Kurt Warner. Bang. We'll just rip him right in the middle. I don't know how they don't have a fucking picture for Kurt Warner. That is unbelievable to me.
Seriously.
Actually blows my mind. Anquan Bolden for Cardinals and Ravens.
Cardinals, Ravens. Yep.
We can lock that in ASAP. They have a picture for him, so that's cool.
Did Larry Fitzgerald get inducted into the Hall of Fame yet? I actually don't know.
One
I'll
moment. I got it. Let's see.
He did not.
Nope. Okay.
I think he's been out of the league long enough because his last year was 2020.
Is there anybody that played?
Oh,
Go ahead.
does it? If he was literally, wait, was he? Oh, I think it's still in the voting stage for
Oh,
Hall of Fame. Damn. Yeah, it's. I think he's in the voting for Hall of Fame this year. So never mind. I was gonna say Terrell Suggs for Cardinals Hall of Fame,
yeah.
but never mind.
I'm trying to think of like, God damn it. Because the problem is the Cardinals have been around for fucking forever.
Yeah, they have.
Everybody like forgets that. They're actually one of the oldest franchises.
Yeah.
But they've just moved a few times.
Didn't
I'm trying to think of guys who had played other places but played there and made the Hall, and it's really tough.
I got one?
All right, who?
Edgerrin James.
Fucking literally exactly the name I was about to double check because I was like, I know he made it. Okay, fair.
Ravens in Tampa Bay. There's definitely running backs. I'm just trying to remember who. And there probably was wide receivers too, because the Ravens went through a bunch of wide receivers. That's gonna bug me too. Tampa Bay Hall of Fame though isn't
I mean, I could just say
Warren Sapp.
Warren Sapp,
You
John
know,
Lynch, Rondé Barber, Derek Brooks. I think I'm just gonna rip Derek Brooks, I think.
All right.
If he's not already, that sucks. Yeah, okay, good. Chargers.
Oh, Marlon Humphrey ruled out for the rest of the game, and Tyke Smith from the Bucks ruled out for the rest of the game.
Hold on. I have a name for the Chargers, I think. Yes, okay. I should. Why was I even like? Doink. All right.
Dan Fouts. Did Junior say I'll make the Hall of Fame? Yes, he did. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say he must have.
That was who I was gonna say, but obviously Dan Fouts also works.
Giants, Buccaneers.
Giants Buccaneers should be. I feel like there's.
Oh, Sterling Shepard.
Oh yes. Why can't I think of Ravens Buccaneers?
This is just a weird duo.
I know, and I never really think of the Buccaneers ever.
Exactly. What I remember mostly, like Bucks names that live in my head, are all their running backs because they were always good. Like
Right.
Cadillac Williams, Muscle Hamster, Doug Martin, LeGarrette Blount started there.
And that's the thing is like I feel like there's a running back that has played for both. And I'm just trying to think of who it might be. It wasn't this guy, was it?
Okay.
No.
All right. I got one.
Oh, okay.
I got one. I pulled it because he was a disappointment. But there he is.
Oh, yep. Yep. I knew there was at least one receiver too.
Yeah.
Fucking
he was
Bershon, wasting that draft pick.
He was supposed to be everything.
Yep.
And then I looked up the list. His name came to mind, and then I looked up the list because I know there's a ton. So I have some easy ones. This one feels pretty easy to me. You ready for the easiest? This is the one that we both should have gotten because he won a fucking Super Bowl. Trent Dilfer. That should have been right there. Josh Johnson, because he's been on every fucking team in the NFL, basically.
Oh, that's true.
but he did play 3 years with both, so he had some time. Vinny Testaverde.
Wow.
Bobby Rainey. And then here's the one that's probably the lowest percent of the modern guys. Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, yeah. Le'Veon played like 2 games for the Ravens or something.
He played 3 for the Bucks, 5 for the Ravens. And it's actually crazy because he had 31 rushing attempts for only 83 yards for the Ravens, but he had 2 touchdowns. Oh my God. All right. I found the name I wish we put because the percent would have been 0. Dallas Clark.
Wow. Yeah, there's no way anybody else got Dallas Clark.
12 games for the Ravens in 2013, 16 for the Bucks in 2012.
Yeah, there's no
That's
way
amazing.
anybody else got him.
Giants Chargers.
Didn't Eli Manning get like drafted by?
But he never suited up, so it shouldn't count. He got drafted by the Chargers and then traded on draft night to the Giants.
That's true.
Like straight up for Phillip Rivers at a pick. So,
Yeah.
I feel like maybe defense.
Oh wait. I have a name. Let me fact check.
Okay.
Fuck, it was Carolina, the blue that I was thinking about. I was thinking of Jeremy Shockey.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try and burn through names in my head.
Who's the big ass running back they had the one year?
Jacobs.
Yeah, did he play for anybody else? Oh, he only played for the 49ers. I'm gonna say I feel like there's a tight end that played for both. I don't know why I'm thinking.
That's how I feel. That's where my head is immediately going, but I'm like,
yeah. But there's not many memorable tight ends to me from the Giants.
but that's like the issue, right? Is like you look at the Chargers and it's like if you think of tight end, your brain is just Antonio Gates, period.
Right.
And then Hunter Henry's on Patriots now because he obviously started there.
And Jared Cook didn't play for the Giants.
Correct. That's kind of it. There's gonna be a fucking name. It's gonna make us both mad. I already know, but
there definitely is.
But it's not like straightforward. I'm trying to think of all the freaking receivers the Giants had over the years, like Mario Manningham. Fucking, I'm good just for my own fun. I'm gonna look up a single name here and see if it's somehow a hit. It is not. I had to try though. Have they had any backup QBs that would have ever? Ooh.
Maybe.
I got one. I got it.
Oh, there
Bang.
you go.
Bang. All I had to do was say backup QB and it was immediately in my head. The whole needle thing with the fucking Chargers.
There it is.
Holy frick.
219 ain't bad.
Yeah, we won't top that one score we had though. It was like 90 or whatever. 97.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Because I was just pulling fucking bullshit out. I had Bryce fucking Brown. Like it was stupid week. Fun time.
We pulled Mac Hollins.
Dude, yeah. Even though he's like currently playing and was on the other team in that last year, so it should have been like obvious, but it took us a minute.
Well, that's it for us.
Indeed. Let me hit
I gotta go do house stuff.
Ooh, fun.
Hopefully the Ravens win. The Ravens have the ball again. Cardinals are up 7-3 with less than 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Ravens are up 20-10 with 8 minutes left in the third. Patrick Ricard just dropped a pass right in his hands, and that's why he's a fullback. So,
tough.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure you check us out on Spotify, Apple, all the audio platforms. You'll see that everywhere. We also put our videos now on Spotify. So if you use Spotify, you'll see the videos on there as well. Obviously, here on YouTube, drop a like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. It lets you know when we go live. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We will catch you guys next week. Later.